वो रिटर्न्स देगा तो रहेगा, रिटर्न्स नहीं देगा तो नहीं रहेगा. और जो सक्सेसफुल आईटीएंस भी है दुनिया में, आई डोंट थिंक वो लोग सिर्फ डिग्री के वजह से है. दे आर देयर बिकॉज दे आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग गुड. आई थिंक नो रूल्स कल्चर is a good culture. So no company can ever pay someone for his or her degree. Experience, education उतना मैटर नहीं करता है जितना एक burning desire मैटर करता है.
If you talk to a lot of startup founders, you get to know that most of the time it's always about soft skills, attitude, their mindset. It's very little about coding or IT or hard skills at all. I want to know, because a lot of people are moving to a tech-driven world, right? What is that one thing in an app which you see कि सारी failed apps में ये common है कि यार ये चीज़ होता है कि most of the apps fail because of this one thing. Is there any specific thing?
So I would say it's differentiator. How you differentiate yourself from others. So Google Play में around 5 million apps होंगे, App Store में around 3 million apps होंगे. तो इतने 7-8 मिलियन एप्स में लोग आपके ऐप क्यों यूज करेंगे? सो यू हैव टू डिफरेंशिएट एंड यू हैव टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम व्हाई ऑफ योर ऐप. व्हाई शुड आई यूज योर ऐप?
मोस्ट ऑफ द एप्स आर लाइक मी टू प्रोडक्ट्स, तो डिफरेंशिएटर नहीं होता. दैट्स व्हाई देयर इज दैट्स द बिगेस्ट रीजन टू फेल.
राइट. सो लेट्स से देयर आर 100 एप्स टू ऑर्डर फूड. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू कीप 100 एप्स ऑन योर फोन टू ऑर्डर फूड. यू विल कीप maximum 2. Right? So you are going to solve that competitive edge wala problem.
So now that we were talking about India, China and Singapore, right? You worked in different startups.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any difference कि India और China में ये difference है या India Singapore में ऐसा difference है?
So the major difference I see is in the attitude of the people. So Indians are smarter people, of course. We are creative people than others. But we lack in passion, we lack in hard work. So I worked with so many people in China. So they are very hardworking and they are like go-getter. They are very determined.
Indians are little lesser.
Yeah, little lazier.
And okay, no, that's interesting because I've always heard that people love hiring Indians because they work hard. But they're comparing us with probably, let's say, Americans or Britishers. And they're not comparing us with other Asian countries, and that's why they feel that way. कुछ ऐसा है कि which you feel कि India has an edge over China or Indians have an edge over, apart from creative thinking.
So now Hirect is also operating in US. So in US, there are many people who follow a timeline of work. So let's say they will not even open their emails during weekend. They will work only like 10 to 6 like that. So probably compared to those people in US, Indians are hardworking. But based on my personal observance, I have seen Chinese are much more hardworking than Indians. Indians are more smarter, creative, but when it comes to passion, hardworking attitudes, I think Chinese.
So do you think that everybody's saying that India will become the next superpower? Do you think that India will become the next superpower?
I do believe that, because like hard work doesn't determine everything. You have to be doing smart work and doing the right things at the right time, and beyond everything you have to follow your ethics.
Yeah.
And I think we as Indians, we are best at following ethics.
If talking about India and talking about Hirect, right? Hirect is solving a problem which is the global problem. Like it's the problem. हर किसी को, I'm sure जो ये देख रहा होगा 99.99% लोग ये बोल रहे होंगे ये मेरी प्रॉब्लम है, मुझे अच्छे लोग नहीं मिलते. I don't know how to hire, how to get the right people, right? But when you talk to audience, they say कि jobs नहीं है, right? So people feel that there are no jobs and employers feel that there are no good employees. So you are fixing that problem,
right?
You're becoming the middleman. Now, how do you plan to do that? ऐसे क्या है? What are you solving which is so difficult? इतने लोग आए, इतने लोगों ने try किया और वो solve नहीं हो रही.
Yeah. So I think the major problem in this industry is the distribution of traffic. सो लेट्स से रील्स में मुझे अगर डांस वाला वीडियो देखना है तो मुझे डांस वाले वीडियोस मिलते हैं, मुझे मोटिवेशनल वीडियो चाहिए तो मोटिवेशननल वीडियो मिलते हैं। यूट्यूब सारे बड़े बिग ब्रांड्स यही करते हैं, तो उन्होंने पर्सनलाइजेशन किया, यू गेट व्हाट यू आर लुकिंग फॉर। बट ये वाली इंडस्ट्री में पर्सनलाइजेशन की कमी है। उसके वजह से क्या होता है, लेट्स से अगर आप माइक्रोसॉफ्ट हो, आप एक जॉब पोस्ट करो, उसमें 1000 एप्लीकेशन आ जाएंगे। मैं हायरेक्ट से एक जॉब पोस्ट करता हूँ, उसमें एक महीने में हार्डली 50 आएंगे। तो ट्रैफिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का प्रॉब्लम है, ये पर्सनलाइजेशन की प्रॉब्लम है। सो वी शुड बी एबल टू मैच ए रिक्रूटर विद जॉब सीकर वेरी प्रिसाइसली। तो बाकी कंपनीज ने ये मैचिंग किया है बेस्ड ऑन सम मेटा डाटा, लेट्स से बेस्ड ऑन सम लिस्ट ऑफ कीवर्ड्स। बट सिर्फ कीवर्ड्स से काम नहीं चलता है, वी एट हायरेक्ट मैच देम बेस्ड ऑन बिहेवियरल डाटा।
Okay.
So let's say what you do on the Hirect app. So let's say you click on a job, we know your CTR, and you get a response from that recruiter. That means you are a good match to that recruiter. So we can recommend you other recruiters who are similar to that recruiter.
Oh.
So we take into account a lot of behavioral data and match you accordingly. And I think this is going to be a game changer.
So way you map people with their employers, right, is based on their behavior.
Yeah.
Like you pattern. अब जैसे कोई नया आ रहा है तो उसका तो behavior नहीं होता. So you mean to say कि जब लोग ऐप आ जाते हैं, आप डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं, once they start looking for something, then it gets better over time for them.
Yes. So when you are new, we only use your metadata, like the information you have used on your JD or your profile. We use them to provide the best possible personalization. But as you use the app more, you get better personalization.
So how do you find out the people? Because let's say I'm sure कि business side से तो you will not face problem because every startup or every company would say कि हाँ चलो हमारे लिए hiring कर दो, right? Because they all are facing this problem. All you have to do is show them trust that hey, try us once, we can solve. But the major problem is getting the job seekers, like people who are looking for job. अब उसमें क्या होता है, there are 10,000 people looking for jobs, right? But only 1,000 of them are actually qualified for the job. 9,000 are only looking for fun. They are not working on themselves and they still want a job. So, but जो hire कर रहा है उसको तो वही बंदा चाहिए जो बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनती हो, जो बहुत ज़्यादा काम करे, जिसकी प्रोफाइल मैच करती है. So how do you make sure that you don't get like raw or unimportant data for recruiter? क्योंकि एज अ रिक्रूटर अगर मैं रिक्रूट करने जा रहा हूँ, मैं 10,000 लोगों की प्रोफाइल नहीं देखने वाला. Like I want specific my 100 people.
Yes. So I think it's a very good question. So how we solve the problem? So we intentionally kept the registration process little lengthy so that all those casual users who are not seriously looking for a job, they will not complete the registration process. So we cannot be like एक मिनट में ये fill कर लो and talk with the recruiter. So वो कोई भी casual user आके spam कर सकता है. So we intentionally designed the app just to add more friction to those casual users. So the casual users will not complete the whole funnel. Only the serious users will complete the whole
Entire
funnel. Second, we audit all those profiles. So first we audit based on our automation. Then we manually audit the profiles. So if we find there are some profiles which are not good, so we just remove them. Second, we also, as I said, we also track your behaviors. So if your behavior on the app is not appropriate, your profile will not be recommended to the recruiter. So we don't have to do anything manually. Let's say कोई जॉब पोस्ट इनएक्टिव है, रिक्रूटर को उसको क्लोज करने की जरूरत नहीं है. इनएक्टिव, हाँ, इनएक्टिव नहीं है मतलब वी कैन ट्रैक देयर लास्ट एक्टिव टाइम. एक्टिव नहीं है तो हम रेकमेंड नहीं करेंगे. तो द एल्गोरिथम कैन सॉल्व n number of problems.
So I was going to ask you this only, like how do you plan to scale? But then now you have an algorithm, so it will help the scaling problem as well.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So let's talk about you a little, okay? Because people, early age entrepreneurs, they look up to different entrepreneurs, right? Like a lot of entrepreneurs, we look up to, let's say, business inspiration देखनी है हमें, तो we look at Zuckerberg, we look at Elon Musk, we look at Steve Jobs, right? And I say most of the people I talk about this, that if you want to look at, if you're starting your journey, look at the startup founders who have started recently, because they have solved one step. They are already 1 or 2 or 5 steps ahead of you. Talk to them, not look at Elon Musk, who's probably 1,000 steps away from you.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to give them a perspective of how did you figure out this, right? When did you realize एक ही ये startup करना है? Was it by choice कि startup करते हैं, then you figured out a problem and try to solve it, or it was कि मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी problem है तो मैं इसी चीज पे startup बनाता हूँ? How was the idea? Like how
Sure.
did it come?
So based on my understanding, every startup starts with a problem. So first you see a problem, then you build a startup as a solution to that problem. And वो वाला problem most of the time the founder themselves faced it, or they have observed someone else facing the problem.
You observed it somewhere.
Yeah. So when I worked for my startup, so I have seen my startup struggling to hire talents. Then before Hirect, I also tried a startup where I couldn't even hire people. So nobody wanted to work with me because it was a startup, it was not a brand. So myself faced hiring is a big challenge. Then I started deeping into the industry, like how their problems, how they're solving these problems, and I saw so many problems. And we introduced Hirect to solve those problems. So when you are in a competitive category, strategy is find out those problems which are still not solved, and you solve those problems.
So once you figure out the problem, you're like, now this is a problem, I need to solve it. You go deep into it. Now you've made your ways that, oh, ऐसे करके solve हो सकती है, ऐसे करके solve हो सकती है. And you build an MVP and you start
Right.
doing it, right?
Yeah.
उसके बाद the next major part comes in funding. How do you select कि who is the person I want to raise funds from, and how do you convince them to raise funds? That is question.
Yeah. So I believe for a first-time entrepreneur like me, raising first round of funding is very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You still have IT degree to back it up.
yeah.
A lot of people don't have that either.
So eventually we learned. So we talked to so many investors to be able to convince one. And one thing we learned by raising the first round of investments is that most of the investors do not invest in your idea. They invest in the team. Okay. So if you are starting up, just don't believe you have a super idea and you will raise money. You have to have a good team who are a good fit to solve that problem. So if you have a good team, the probability of raising funds increases.
बहुत बार problem क्या होती है कि you don't even have the team because you don't have money to get that team. How do you find that initial track? Like, because I'm sure कि जब तुम start करते हो, तब जो starting में 4-5 लोग आते हैं ना, like the 4-5 people, those are probably your friends, your कोई दूसरा आ गया, या तो कोई hustler है, कोई hunger है, किसी कोई problem में interested है, passionate people, right? They're not probably the best people or the ones who are heavily motivated or they have like a good pedigrees in their edge, right? Random लोग होते हैं, तो इनके साथ team judge करना is very difficult.
So in most of the cases, your co-founding team members will be the people whom you already know from a long time or have worked together. So that is the ideal case. But I have also seen people come into a conclusion that they will start it up and they still didn't know each other. So sometimes there's a match of passion. There's a match of like ideas. There's a match of interest.
So once the team is sorted, and then how do you choose which investor to go through? कितने सारे investors हैं? India के investors हैं, Chinese investors हैं, US investors हैं, Japanese investors हैं, and they all are interested in early startups now. Like first you have to decide कौन से invest. जो पैसा देते उस पे चले जाओ, or you choose your investors.
So it depends. अगर आप बहुत आसानी से रेज कर सकते हो तो यू कैन चूज. बट अगर 30-20 इन्वेस्टर से ऑलरेडी बात किए और कोई रेडी नहीं इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए है, दैट मीन्स यू जस्ट नीड ए मनी rather than the choice of your investors. So it's very important to look at बैकग्राउंड ऑफ डेट इन्वेस्टमेंट फर्म कि वो लोग किस टाइप के बिजनेस पे इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. हर एक वीसी फर्म का अलग अलग फिलोसफी है और उनके पोर्टफोलियोज देख लो, देन इट्स वेरी इजी टू फाइंड कि ये हमारे लिए अच्छे फिट है या नहीं.
You are always surrounded with so many boys that social skills tend to take a toll. You don't really know how to interact with other gender, right? This is most of the engineering colleges, most of the engineers will understand this and they'll talk about it, right? So how do you find it difficult still to interact with other people, or now it's okay?
So I think I improved, but still I find it difficult.
You find it difficult?
Yeah.
What's so difficult about it?
तो
क्या difficult होता है? Like you don't understand the other person? क्या difficult?
so I don't know what to say, what to ask,
Okay.
or I have a fear how the other person will react if I say so.
So you don't technically know ki at what time what to talk about. And does that reflect with boys as well, or it's only with the girls? Because you are introvert in nature, do you find it easy to talk to boys?
So boys, yes, comparatively yes, but so I find problem to build a conversation to a new person. But
Okay.
once I know a person and we become friend, then I become extrovert with them.
What is, apart from the fun part, like how do you build the office culture? Do you have principles to build a culture? Is it value driven? Is it philosophy driven? कैसे, how do you decide कि मेरा culture ये होगा?
So I think culture pass on होते हैं. So let's say today we have 10 people and we don't have any set of rules, right? Because it's just 10 people.
It's a startup, yeah.
Yeah. Now let's say next a batch of 20 new people join. They will follow what these 10 people are doing. Now you have around 30 to 40 people, and there is a next batch of 50 to 100 people join. They will follow what this batch of previous 30 to 40 people are doing. So culture is something that gets passed on. You don't have to build it. You just start, like you just give, be flexible.
Okay, so there's no set of rules written कि यार ये हमारा कल्चर चार्ट है, ये 10 चीज़ों के अराउंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रिवॉल्व होगी. नहीं,
नहीं.
there are no culture pillars.
Yeah, no rules. I think no rules culture is a good culture.
It's a brilliant culture.
Yeah.
कोई रूल नहीं है, no rules.
So मेरा अप्रोच यही रहता है कि let's not set rules, provide flexibility. अगर लोग उसको रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं, we will stick to it. अगर कोई उसको मिसयूज करता है, then only we need rules. So rules are there to prevent people, right? अगर लोग रूल्स को तोड़ना ही नहीं चाहता है, फिर रूल्स रखने की जरूरत ही क्या है?
True, that makes sense. You said अभी हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, the world is hiring from IITs, right? IITians are the top preference of people, like, you know, of every organization कि हमें यहीं से hire करना है. You talked about that you fired few IITians, right? What was the reason? Because you also hire a lot of IITians. You are an IITian. It's a trust automatically gets built. There are few people, a lot of people, they're from IIT. तो ऐसा क्या था कि why did you fire IITians?
So
उनकी डिमांड तो हर जगह खतरनाक रहती है.
So no company can ever pay someone for his or her degree.
For his or her
degree?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to justify their ROI. If I am paying 5 lakh rupees to a non-IITians और वो मुझे 10 लाख का काम
करके दे
रहे हैं, and I am paying 15 lakhs to a IITian, उसको भी रिटर्न्स देना है. वो रिटर्न्स देगा तो रहेगा, रिटर्न्स नहीं देगा तो नहीं रहेगा. और जो सक्सेसफुल IITians भी है दुनिया में, आई डोंट थिंक वो लोग सिर्फ डिग्री के वजह से है. दे आर देयर बिकॉज दे आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग गुड to the company. So it's performance driven, it's never degree driven, and I don't think there is कोई भी कंपनी एग्जिस्ट करते हैं जो सिर्फ डिग्री के लिए पे करते हैं, not for their works.
So it's very easy for an IITian to get a seat, but it's equally difficult for them after getting the seat.
Of course. So like if you have cracked IIT JEE, if you have done well for 4 years, you are expected to do well in your job, right? And you are more likely to do better than others. अगर आप नहीं करते हो तो you will not get rewarded for it.
True. So now that you're talking about skills, now that we're talking about कि degree की वजह से पे नहीं मिलता है, right? It's always about ROI positive. That's why people get paid. That's why people continue their journeys, right? What do you think? Who are the kind of people? Because through Hirect, I'm sure you must be seeing a lot of data. And उस data से who are the kind of people they get hired very easily? ऐसी क्या qualities होती हैं उनमें जो बहुत easily hire हो जाते हैं? Like what are those top 2-3 qualities which makes a candidate stand out?
Yeah. So one thing I really look at all candidates is whether they have a burning desire to do something in life. I don't hire people जो सिर्फ लिविंग्स के लिए जॉब कर रहे हैं. I hire people who are passionate, who really want to do something in life. And हमारे पास ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो एज ए इंटर्न एज ए फ्रेशर हमें ज्वाइन किए थे एंड नाउ दे आर लाइक सुपर कंट्रीब्यूटर टू द कंपनी more than those 10-15 years of experience. So experience, education उतना मैटर नहीं करता है जितना एक burning desire मैटर करता है.
But how do you judge that when you're hiring from platform like Hirect? जैसे अब मैंने एक पोस्टिंग डाली, मुझे 10 लोगों ने डाल दिया कि यार we want to get hired. How do I judge that these people have burning desire? No, क्योंकि उन 10 में से अभी मैं वो जज कर सकता हूँ जब मैं इंटरव्यू करूँगा, बट इस 10 में से मुझे ऑलरेडी 3 को सिलेक्ट करना है, राइट? तो ऐसे 3 कौन से सिलेक्ट होते हैं यूजुअली फ्रॉम, बिकॉज यू हैव सीन लॉट ऑफ पीपल सिलेक्टिंग और फाइनलाइजिंग फ्यू प्रोफाइल्स. तो ऐसे कौन सी प्रोफाइल्स में ऐसी क्या चीज़ें होती है जो स्टैंड आउट करती है रेज्यूमेज में लोगों के, जिसकी वजह से होगा दे गेट सिलेक्टेड इजीली?
यस, तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु फेक देयर प्रोफाइल. ओके,
everyone does it.
Yeah. And you as a recruiter should have that quality to know that ये वाला user fake information दे रहा है. तो you already
how do you judge that? ये कैसे होता है? It's just experience which teaches you.
So I think it's experience that teaches you.
उसके अलावा कोई तरीका नहीं होता that you actually, because सब लोग अपने रेज्यूमे में बहुत बड़ा के चीज़ें लिखते हैं.
वो पता चल जाता है कि ये फेक इन्फॉर्मेशन है या नहीं है. तो असाइनमेंट ले लो, इंटरव्यू लाइक वे दे आंसर द क्वेश्चंस आपको पता चल जाएगा. जो एक्सपीरियंस लोग हैं मे बी वो इंटरव्यू में बहुत अच्छे आंसर करे, बट आप उनको काम दो, क्या वो अच्छे से काम कर पा रहे हैं? तो रिसेंटली हमने वेब डेवलपर इंटरव्यू किया. दे हैव 6 to 10 years of experience. दे क्रैक द इंटरव्यू, बट कोडिंग, हम लाइव कोडिंग टेस्ट लेते हैं तो नहीं कर पाते. सो इट्स अ सीरीज ऑफ प्रोसेस टू हायर द बेस्ट, एंड Hirect solve one of the problem, right? Generating the leads for interviews and all.
So after that, it's the interview which makes them stand out.
Yes.
Okay. What makes you think that what do you think that this is one skill which makes you successful? Or because of you got into IIT, you got a great startup, you started getting funds. What is the one thing in you, apart from burning desire?
Apart from burning desire. Okay. So I think I'm persistent.
Okay.
If I believe this can be done, I will stick to it until it's done.
And that's the biggest reason why you have done.
Yeah.
Interesting. और काफी like if you talk to a lot of startup founders, you get to know that most of the time it's always about soft skills, attitude, their mindset. It's very little about coding or IT or hard skills at all. So why do the world focuses a lot on hard skills when the game is only about mindset?
Yeah. So because I think they focus more on producing labor rather than producing leaders. So hard skills are required to become a good employee, good labor, but not a leader.
Yeah, that's interesting. And how do you make sure that you're producing more leaders as a leader?
So it's just passing on my learnings to other leaders. सो अगर मैं कुछ सीखता हूँ वो मैं शेयर करता हूँ.
And who do you learn from? Is there any one entrepreneur you look up to a lot?
तो एवरी डे जब मुझे CEO की ट्रेनिंग हुई थी तो मेरे ट्रेनर ने ये बोलाया लाइक ये सिखाया कि एज ए लीडर एज ए CEO यू हैव टू डू 4 थिंग्स एवरी डे. Spend 20% of your daily time in learning new thing. It can be from reading a book, talking to industry leaders, or consuming any new information. Second thing, make decision based on your learnings. Third thing, hiring. Fourth thing is doing the task which we call hard skills. So learning every day is a very important thing for a leader. क्योंकि अगर मुझे खुद चीज़ें नहीं पता, मैं किसी डिपार्टमेंट के मीटिंग में जाऊंगा, मैं क्लूलेस रहूंगा और कोई मुझे फॉलो नहीं करेंगे. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू लर्न न्यू थिंग्स एवरी डे एंड ऑल्सो हेल्प others learn.
And where do you learn from? Like, do you have any blogs, any Twitter accounts or podcasts or books?
So I'm a good reader of books.
Okay.
So I try to read a book.
Which one is the best one as an entrepreneur?
My best book will be like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
So that's a mindset book which you really like.
Yeah. So that's the first book I read, and it was gifted by one of the retired colonel when I was in school.
So that you feel that everybody should read that book?
Yeah. I would definitely recommend it to everybody to read.
Every entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Even if they are not entrepreneur, they can still read it.
Oh, it's that important?
Yeah, it's very important.
What can you tell us any one thing which stood out for you in that book?
So that
I tell you my journey with that book. I googled top 10 books to become rich, and उसमें ऐसे top पे आती है Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, तो ये top books आती है. And I ordered this book, and I never read it. I still haven't read it. But I found out about a guy called Andrew Carnegie. उस book में Andrew Carnegie के बारे में होता है. So I started reading about Andrew Carnegie, not about the book. So I want to know कि ऐसा book में क्या stand out किया लोग इतना recommend करते हैं.
Yeah. So they talk about certain steps or certain qualities that if you can adopt as a habit in your thinking, then you will make better decision and you will be successful. So it's more like building good habits in how you think. So and there are a lot of things. Let's say they talk about if you focus on generalized skills and not focused on a specialized skill, you will not make money. Okay. So let's say आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें आते हैं, राइट? आपको ड्राइविंग आते होंगे, स्विमिंग आते होंगे, ऐसे हज़ारों चीज़ें आते होंगे. बट लुक एट योर सोर्स ऑफ इनकम. ऐसे कौन सी स्किल है जिससे आपको इनकम आ रहे? वो शायद एक होगा, डेट इज़ योर एबिलिटी टू स्पीक वेल. तो यू हैव टू फोकस मोर ऑन स्पेशलाइज्ड स्किल rather than general skills.
And that
so
will
focus on one thing rather than doing too many things. Let's say you might be spending 70 or 80% time focusing on one thing and 20% 30% times on doing general things.
So that stood out for you, and that was the best thing, and that makes sense, all the sense in the world. But a recent study है that there's a book called Range, where they say that in a world of specialists, become a generalist. And this is contrary, and that's why the book has done really well. But that's for some other day to debate on. And let me read that book, let me come out with my counter, and then I'll text you and be like, you know what, ये book में ऐसा बोल रहा है, क्या करूँ, general बनूँ, specialized बनूँ? It's lovely that you think it this way. Tell me one last question which we ask to everyone. Okay, the question is, which industry do you feel, because you look at so many data, you look at a lot of startups, which industry do you feel is going to be the next big industry in India where people can grow? Like there's going to be a new unicorn, or there's going to be a new business?
So I think hiring industry will boom a lot.
We'll have a lot of startups.
Yeah. And I can tell you the reasons. आजकल जो youngsters है ना, many of them want to build their own business rather than working for others.
Yeah.
So it will definitely increase total number of businesses, which will create more jobs in the market.
That's there and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's a huge difference and a huge gap between the people, the employable people, and the people who want to employ. So in तीनों के बीच का gap बहुत बड़ा है, which I think is going to be very big. I also feel like training industry is going to be insanely big as well.
I do think so, but again, like the best employee for you may not be the one who is taking up a course and relying on a trainer. The best employee are those who are self learner.
100%. And I want to correct again and say it that I feel the training industry, not the people who are training outside. I feel the people who can come in an organization and become a part of organization, become a full-time trainer inside the organization, like the HR.
Yeah.
Right? Because these are the people going to be really, really important. I think every organization will soon have a chief training officer, chief content officer, and these are the kind of new jobs which will see, chief community officer. ये कभी jobs थी नहीं और ये कब आने वाली. This is what I feel. I don't know, maybe I can feel wrong. It's based on a gut feeling which I see in
Yeah, I
companies.
think it should work.
It should work. It might work, it might not.
Yeah.
But thanks for giving us your time. Thanks for building what you're building. If you can really solve this problem at scale, I genuinely believe this is a great startup in making, because I've never heard someone saying that we are solving a behavior problem. Not like we're not solving a problem where we're just getting people onboarded and our job is done. We're getting them onboarded, and after that, we are tracking their behavior to give people what they really want, is what is really commendable. Thanks for doing this. And it was lovely having you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.